Hey friends, what's good? Welcome to Storytime. So first things first, just a trigger warning. My mic sometimes catches a lot of noises, and I apologize. Sometimes that can be gross. I'm not a mukbang kind of channel. I'm just trying to tell stories with a cheap dollar store microphone. So I'll try not to slurp this drink. It's really going to be hard. So anyway, today's story, you guys, is about 1986, going to the Expo here in Vancouver, BC, with my grandma. Now, I don't know if many of you have grandparents from back in the day that didn't like to spend money on food. They liked to make everything. And my grandma was one of those people. So my brother and I think I was 16 and he was 13, and we made the treacherous trip with my grandfather driving all the way down to Vancouver from 100 Mile House. That is a whole other story because it was terrifying. I've never driven since with a person that drove that crazy, like just all over the road. Anyway, my brother and I think we prayed. I prayed. My grandma actually said that. When you get in the car, like just pray to God because that's the only thing that's going to save us. Grandpa wasn't a great driver. But anyway, back to the story. So my brother and I got down to Vancouver. My mom had sent us with a little bit of money, probably $20 each, because in 86 that was worth about 100 because yeah, money used to be worth something back in the day. But we had planned, I believe we were going to Expo with my grandma for one day, and then we were going to go the next day with my uncle. And when we were ready to go with Grandma, my brother and I kind of prepared ourselves because we knew what Grandma was like. Every penny kind of stayed in the house, and all the foods were made by Grandma. You know, the roast beef and the potatoes and the tuna on toast with cheddar and all that kind of stuff. It was always beautiful food. But we were going to Expo where there was going to be ice cream and hot dogs and popcorn and just things that, a kid would just absolutely love to have on an outing. But it wasn't going to be that way because Grandma had mentioned that she was going to make sandwiches. And my brother and I'm sure, I don't know how my brother felt about this, but I was not happy. I was 16 years old. I wanted some adventure. So not only did she have my mom's money that my mom had given us, she took the money and put it in her wallet for safekeeping. But she proceeded to make, I'm sure, a half a dozen tuna sandwiches in the summertime for Expo. So I wasn't impressed already. I was thinking this is crazy. But I think we had some drinks in there. I don't know, back at maybe had drink boxes. I'm not even sure. But she was doing, what grandmas do. They make sure they take care of their grandkids, even though their grandkids have money to spend on junk food. She just didn't want us to do that, and it was really weird because as soon as my brother and I got there, we were bombarded. Like it was overwhelming. There was so many people, there was so much food, so much going on, but my excitement was seeing all the food stalls. I mean, we're talking like shaved ice and popcorn and hot dogs and cotton candy. We weren't, don't even look at that. No, we're going to look at exhibits. And then we're going to sit down on the bench and we're going to have ourselves a tuna sandwich at Expo 86. So I love my grandma, but that day I was not happy because I'm pretty certain she didn't put an ice pack in there. So we've been packing these sandwiches around, and even at 16, I was aware that things could spoil and food probably should be refrigerated. But what happened next was the best because now I don't know if my brother would know this part of the story. He was a little younger, but I'm sure he remembers it. But Grandma, I think, handed me $5 or gave us each $5 after we'd sat through the whole tuna fish thing and ate the sandwich to appease her. She gave us a little money, and my brother and I gone like a shot. I think we went around the corner and hit the first stall, and I can't even remember what I got. It could have even been like an ice cream sandwich or something, because at that point I did not care. I just didn't want any more tuna sandwiches. But she said to me, I remember her saying, "Don't spend it all." And I was thinking, it's $5 and it's Expo. And so I was just talking to my mom about this and how much I actually appreciate my grandma for doing that because I was that kind of mother as well. Like I would pack as much as I could and before, heading to the food stall to get something. And maybe we annoy our kids when we do that, but I think in a way it was showed how much love my grandma had for us that she would make us a bunch of sandwiches to take on this little excursion. And needless to say, it was fantastic. It was probably the coolest thing I'd seen in years. And to get out of the country and to go to the city, it was wonderful. But I don't know. I just wanted to tell that story because I miss my grandma and I love the stories. And it's nice to talk to my mom about the stories about her mom and just sort of reminisce. So, yeah, that's my Expo story. Anybody else go to Expo? What did you guys do? Did you get to buy like treats? I think we went home with money, which is unheard of. But the next day, we went with my uncle, who had a lot of money at the time. He just blew it all. We ate junk. We had the best time ever just eating stuff, and it was great. But yeah, so tell me your stories. You got anything to tell? Add in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, and have a fantastic day, you guys. And God bless you. See you later.